What up? I'm B and welcome to my channel. I hope you are having a great Thursday today, and I am really anxious to get into this whole topic with you. So, if you're in here, say hi, say what's up, and then in a little bit we'll give people some time to get in here, and then we will get started. All right. Hi, Natasha. I hope you're having a good day today. And so, as the title clearly states, we're going to be talking about Tati Westbrook and her Breaking My Silence video. Before we do that, if there's anything you guys want to chat about for a few minutes, feel free to drop it in. We'll have a little bit of a chat and then we'll get started. Okay, cool. You guys are in here. Jordan, Courtney, hi Druggy Vibes, hi Brianna, hi Adultish, hi Sinead, hi Jillian, hi Potato McGee, hello Toodles McPhee, hi Michaela. Hi, you guys. Feisty Penguin, hello. Hi, Kaylin. Oh, you're the best part of the week. You're so nice. Thank you. Birds of a Feather said, hi, I joined as soon as I saw you were live. You are just in time. Jordan said, Trisha, Tati, Gabby, James, Shane, Jeffrey, OMG, you better hit on all of these. Oh my gosh. There's literally so much happening. All right. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Squirrel Lock. Hi... oh my gosh. Count Von Lilson, Pamela, Carolina, Sarah Rose. Hi, you guys. Okay. So I've got Brianna in here, who is one of my moderators, and then I want to wait another minute or so and see if another moderator can be in here. I know Oscar is at work, so he's usually the one who kind of takes up the lead when it comes to that, but I want to give a little bit of time to see if somebody else can come in here too. That way Brianna's not the only one in there. Vilter said, first question for you, B. Throw it at me. What's the question? Druggy Vibe said, have you read Shane's book? I have not. I know he wrote 2, but I haven't read either of them. Is this Dramageddon 3 or Carmageddon? Ooh, I don't know. I like saying Dramageddon because it's like, okay, this is the third one. We're going in succession. But I like to call it Carmageddon because the first 2 were involving Jeffrey somehow, but he wasn't the one getting any any consequences really. And now, hopefully, Jeffrey can have some consequences for his actions. And so I'd like to call it Carmageddon. What do you guys think? You guys say Dramageddon or Carmageddon? Alright, we're gonna wait about another minute and then we'll get started. Did you guys see that Gabby Hanna deleted her Twitter and her Instagram? Like, they're there, but you click it and it's literally nothing. It's wild. Michaela said, I feel Carmageddon is more accurate. Right, I feel like it fits because we're switching it up now. Carmageddon. Yeah, I just think it it's like Retribution time for a lot of people. Carmageddon. Hi, Ashanti. Hi, Jacob. Kaylin said, what do you think those consequences would look like? I have no clue, but he def needs. I mean, in terms of Jeffrey, I literally don't know what would happen because for me, it's like, if somebody doesn't want to be a good person, then there's nothing they can do to make the hurtful things that they did right. So it's like, what would his retribution be? There's still going to be people who are going to buy his makeup. His channel isn't really getting affected. I think it would collectively take us saying, we're no longer making excuses for this. For these behaviors that you're exhibiting, we're not going to just say, oh, that was in the past, or, oh, that's just Jeffrey. He just is sassy. There's been a lot of people who have said that they are scared of him, or that there's something about him that they can't quite put their finger on. And it's sinister. And so I think it just comes to a point of enough people saying, we're not excusing this behavior anymore. were done, and then maybe eventually him realizing that he can't get away with it anymore would cause a change, but I don't know. Yeah, Brianna said, didn't she delete her socials after deleting her videos with Shane that was on her channel? Well, she deleted her videos with Shane, and then somebody had posted a picture of her with Curtis Lepore, and I fully don't know, like, the whole story behind that, because I know Gabby said that Curtis had, like, called out to her at an event, and she just said, like, out of habit, I turned, and I did a pose, and then I realized who it was, and I told him to delete it, and he did. So it's, like, I don't know if there's a way for him to be like, okay, yeah, I deleted it off my story, but, like, maybe it auto-saved into an archive, and it got posted somewhere, so I don't know what that whole thing is. Sorry, I said Iranian. Well, welcome. Squirrelux said, Tati, Gabby, Blair, and more have all said they fear for their life when it comes to him. Jeez. Dulcher said, I saw someone say it wasn't Curtis in the picture. Well, okay, so there's one picture of Gabby, Curtis, and another woman, I think. And then there are two pictures of Gabby and Zayn Hijazi, who's part of the vlog squad. And people are saying that that was posted on Curtis's Snapchat. Count Von Lilson said, the crazy thing is we already knew that Jeffree was an unpredictable and aggressive guy, only now he seems much more predictable and his actions seem much more strategic. Yeah, definitely. Adulter said, don't know how the boy looks, so I couldn't say. Alright. Dang, okay, so... Brianna, are you okay if you're the only moderator in here for right now, or do you want me to ask somebody else to come be one? You can let me know. If you want me to ask somebody else and make somebody else a moderator, that's totally fine. Just let me know real quick, and then we'll get started. Brianna said, what I want to know is where's Jeffree? I thought Shane was family. Yeah, Adulter said, Brianna, things are going around, he's with his grandma. He says that he's with his grandma, but a lot of people are saying that maybe he's not, and, like, there have been inconsistencies about his grandma's age. It's, like, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. I really don't care where he's at. I just want... I don't know. I don't know what I want from him. I just want us to stop excusing him for bad behavior. Okay, Brianna, that's good. Okay, cool. If at any point it gets overwhelming and you want another moderator, definitely let me know. Usually we're good. Like, we're totally fine. But sometimes we get, like, one-offs. So if you need somebody else to come in, let me know. But, okay. So, classic question. Give me a thumbs up if you have seen Tati's video. Give me a thumbs down emoji if you have not. Lisa said, hello from Argentina. Oh, hi. Squirrelux said, I thought his grandma moved in with him. I have no idea. Birds of a Feather said, I respect Shane only for his loyalty, like not wavering on his friends, but I don't respect him for condoning his friends' actions. Yeah. I mean, like, it's great that, like, he's so protective and supportive of people that he's on good terms with, but at the same time, like, that kind of is futile if that person's a bad person who's done really bad things. All right, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Very cool. Okay, so a lot of people have seen it, some people haven't. That's totally fine if you haven't. I'm gonna go over, like, the biggest points, the main points in there. Before we get into her video, just some fun facts for you guys. Over the past week, Tati lost about 20,000 subscribers. And then from the day she posted her video to now, she has lost 80,000 subscribers, which I don't know. I don't know what she thought the response was going to be. And I don't know what I thought the response was going to be, but I guess that tracks. I definitely thought that people were going to be a little bit more swayed by her emotions in the video, and they definitely weren't. So total, that's 100,000 lost for her. With Shane, over the past week, he's lost 700,000 subscribers, and then since Tati posted her video, an additional 300,000, so we're at 1 million for Shane. But here's the disappointing part. With Jeffree Star, over the past week, he's lost 200,000, and then since Tati posted her video, he only lost another 200,000. And this is where I'm afraid, because yes, Shane needs to be held accountable for a lot of the things he's done, and we'll get into some of the accusations, but Jeffree also needs to be held accountable. Jeffree has done a lot of bad things publicly, especially after Tati's Bye Sister video, that are unacceptable, that we would not let other people get away with, and yet we let him get away with this. And so I agree that people who caused a lot of the turmoil in Dramageddon 2 need to face these repercussions, but I don't want Jeffree to just get shuffled out of here because we're like used to him being a bad person doing bad things. And then just kind of a little bonus for you, James Charles, surprisingly, gained 100,000 subscribers yesterday. So he's the only one going up in subs. Everybody else is going down. Ashley said, I found her video uncomfortable because it was clear to me she didn't take a lot of responsibility. However, I don't support Shane or Jeffree and unfollowed Shane months ago, was never subscribed to Jeffree Star. Adultish said, I think it's because Jeffree isn't speaking up and isn't online on social media. Yeah, like he's being forgotten about because he's not posting stuff. Baby Blue said, I don't feel bad for Tati either. I don't feel sorry for any of them, actually. They are all as bad as one another. Yeah. And Brown said, yeah, I agree. I'm afraid that Shane is going to take the heat for both his and Jeffree's part in it. Right. And, like, Shane definitely needs to be held accountable. But if I ever at some point, when throughout this video I say, like, I don't want Jeffree to be off the hook, it doesn't mean that I think Shane needs to be let off the hook either. You know, if I say, like, we really need to go for Jeffree, I'm not excusing Shane. I'm just saying they both got to be in here. Like, they both have to face the court. But, all right, so main bombshells from the video. One of the biggest ones I thought was the fact that in December, Tati and James got together at her home and compared DMs, compared receipts. Like, they got together and talked about everything that they had been told by Jeffree and Shane, and, like, they're good. And I think that that is incredible. Like, I'm not, like, a super fan of James Charles. I never watched his content. I don't really have an opinion either way about him, but if he could literally go to her house, look her in the eyes and say, you know what, I understand where you were coming from. Like, I forgive you. I hold no ill will towards you. Like, the emotional maturity is astounding. That's so crazy. So they got together. They both said that they were like, well, James didn't say this, but Tati basically insinuated that they'd both been lied to by Jeffree and Shane. They'd been given, like, some false information, all that. And her statement, I didn't say this in the beginning, her statement was scripted. A lot of people kind of had a problem with that, but I feel like that's a good thing because that way she didn't deviate too much. Her video was still way longer than I felt it needed to be, but it's good that she, like, got everything approved by a lawyer. And I feel like some of the things that she said, the fact that a lawyer said she could say it makes me feel like the things that she's saying are credible. Potato McGee said, I kind of feel bad for Shane in the sense that he stuck up for Jeffree so much for the past few days, and Jeffree has just been radio silent in supporting Shane. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, it sucks that you stood up for somebody and now they're not standing up for you, but I don't think anybody's surprised. Nina said, I'm glad James is staying silent. That's, like, the best look. That is literally the best look for James right now, because Tati said that she had been played a clip of an alleged victim, and She didn't say whether or not she still thought it was true or thought it was false. Blair White has been played this clip. Jeffree Star touts it around like a little poker chip that he can use to prove that he's not a monster, which I don't think it does, because it's disgusting to use somebody's like pain in a way to make yourself look better. But we don't know what that is. We don't know what's going to come out. So, I mean, right now things look favorable for James, but I don't trust any of these people. And so I'm like, I'm keeping my eye on you guys. So they got together. They both said like, okay, we were both manipulated. We can move past this, yada, 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 yada. Tati said the main reason she posted that video is because she was scared for James. And she said this because she had gotten together with Shane. Jeffree apparently said, oh, Shane like wants you to have a little part in the series, like in the documentary. He thinks you're great. He thinks you're like the queen of reviews. They ended up getting together, and I don't know how this comes up, because she said, I told him things that I've not told anybody except the people who are closest to me about being assaulted. And Shane said that like their documentary had taken a bit of a change, and they were going to now be interviewing victims of James Charles because he had underage victims. And then Tati, what did she do with that information? Instead of going to James, instead of saying, what is this? Like, why am I being told this? What is happening? Because here's the thing. I get feeling like you're trying to get something through to a friend and they're just not listening and not listening and not listening. But like, when it comes to assault, I feel like your first like defense, like your first reaction should not be, oh my gosh, I gotta make this video. I think that was in her own self-interest, because she was like, maybe I can get in this documentary if they're gonna be interviewing victims, and I call him out for trying to like trick straight guys into thinking they're gay. Maybe if I open the door a little bit, I could be in it. That's just pure speculation. But and maybe that wasn't even like a coherent thought in her head, but I feel like maybe she considered that a little bit. Maybe that was part of her motivation. Kaylin said, LOL, I hate that, quote, scared for James. Right. She was salty. Count Von Wilson or the police. Right. Betsy said, yeah, she was scared for him. Exactly. Like, that's the thing, is like, yeah, and Brianna said, with the police thing, she said that she didn't have enough to go to them. Yeah, so I understand not wanting to, like, go to the police with an allegation that you can't fully back up, that you can't, like, completely prove. She said, I didn't know enough to go to the police, but I knew enough to scare me. Like, I heard enough to scare me about what was going to happen to James. And so instead of trying to help James, you threw him in front of the bus. Like, I don't want to get, like, super mad. But I can't help but think what I would do if I was in that situation. Because we all have that friend. Like, we have that friend that does whatever they want and they don't really care, and, like, you really care about them, and, like, they'll talk to you when it's convenient and come to you when they need something. But whenever you try to talk to them about something really serious, like, it just gets kind of brushed under the rug. But I feel like if Tati had gone to James and said, hey, I was told this about you. What's happening? Like, is there any legitimacy to this? Did you do these things? Then you could go from there. Like, you could take it to him first. That's what a healthy relationship is like. That's what you do when you care about somebody more than you care about what might be beneficial to you. When you care about your own self-interest less than you care about this person that you claim to love. So I said, that's what I got to be. Right, like I said, maybe it wasn't even something that she, like, was able to verbalize in her head, but I feel like that could have been a motivation. So I said if she cared, she would have pulled him aside and asked him if this was legitimate. Right. Kaylin said, I just wish she was transparent about why she did it and how much money she made. She's acting like this just ruined her career, but she can probably retire now. Yeah, absolutely. I saw in Petty Paige's video, she said that somebody else, like FaZe Banks, I think, did like a rough estimate of how much money she made through this ordeal, and it was like ballpark, low end of the ballpark, $19 million. And I was like, excuse me? What? Like, 19 million is insane. And I guess it could have hurt her business if she was planning on like additional launches and she wasn't able to do that. So like, feel free, go settle it in court. But in terms of like forgiveness and feeling emotionally like I'm siding with you, you don't have it. Because okay, we'll get into more opinions later. Next, another bombshell. Shane offered to help Tati with production of the Bye Sister video. And this is so wrong if it's true. Again, like, I think a lot of the things she said are true because they went through a lawyer, and you can tell, like, in her statement, she says, like, it is my opinion that they were jealous of James. It is my opinion that they had this plan. Like, she's not saying they straight up did. She's saying the way I see things. So she said that he offered to do thumbnail editing, help her pick out the title, all that. She also said that she feared for her life and has moved twice since this whole ordeal happened, and she has upped personal security, which I don't know, man. Like, some people are saying, like, oh, that's so dramatic. Oh, my God. And even Ryland, when Shane went on his Instagram live while watching it, was like, well, then why did you make a video? Like, basically saying she was lying about being scared. But this is a common thing that we've heard from quite a few people. And so I don't know what could come out that would, like, solidify that this is a legitimate feeling to have. But people are scared. People have been saying that they're scared. So I believe her. Finally, or two things. So there's been this narrative that was created by Peter Mon that Gabby Hanna told Peter Mon that Shane Dawson told her that when he first met Jeffree Star still used racist language and tried to get Shane to say racist things as well. Gabby Hanna has obviously not responded to this. I mean, it's a bad look for her either way, but everyone's kind of thinking like, okay, well, you know, that sounds believable to me. And a big part of Tati's video was saying, Jeffree's going to come back. He's going to unload these bombshells on people. And I think we have to have forgiveness in our heart for people who maybe have said things that they wouldn't have normally said under regular circumstances. And so she basically kind of confirmed that Jeffree maybe tries to manipulate conversations, and maybe not to get people to say racist things, but like to get people saying things that are bad, that are incriminating, that would make people not like them. And so I definitely believe that. And then finally, she said that Jeffree Star was either part owner or invested in Morphe. And this could have very serious implications. She's so petty. She said, and the reason that I believe, she said, do you think it's a coincidence that they're coming out with hair, skin, and nail gummies? As if Tati is the first person in the world to create hair, skin, and nail gummies. I was taking biotin in 8th grade for that. Like, what do you mean? Like, that was so petty. However, if Jeffree really is invested in Morphe, it is a major FTC violation for him to have this investment and not say anything and not disclose it. And there has been a video that has resurfaced of him saying that he's invested in Morphe. So that would be wild. Brianna said a lot of people are actually scared of Jeffree. They are, and so it's just, like, I wonder what this person could do. Oh, Nina said, Peter also said that James was going to do a documentary, and then Shane and Jeffree Star talked him out of it and did their own. Yeah, I heard that too. I was like, what is happening? Like, they literally, from what it sounds like, is they were just jealous of James. And, like, I get it from Jeffree's standpoint. He's always been kind of bitter like that. He's always been very jealous. He's been somebody not to want to celebrate another person's success unless it has to do with him. And so it doesn't surprise me if Jeffree was jealous of James. But I'm like, Shane, why do you care? Like, he's somebody who has presented himself as always being kind of like low key and like, I don't know, the way I perceived how he presented himself was that he didn't necessarily care too much about being like the biggest person on the platform, because the thing with like getting jealous about James is James's star extended beyond YouTube. And so I think if James was just on YouTube, it really wouldn't matter. But like, James got invited to the Met Gala. James was going to different shows. Like, people outside of YouTube were legitimizing his career. And so I definitely see Jeffree getting upset about this, but Shane's always been like, I don't like going out. I don't like doing things. I like staying in my home. Like, I never go to meet and greets. His first meet and greet in years was going to be at TanaCon. And so it just does, I just don't get it. I mean, jealousy is a totally normal emotion that, like, everybody has. Everybody gets jealous of somebody at some point for something, but to go to this extent is just wild to me. Courtney said, Angelica made a video about it, and Morphe put out a statement saying that no, he isn't, but they're dropping Shane because of his past, but not Jeffree unless they can't because he's part owner. Yeah, I saw that statement. I don't know how legitimate it is. I didn't really look into it, but that, like, I find it hard to believe that a company would put out a statement like that, because the way it was worded was like, Shane, we can't support Shane's past, but Jeffree's made an effort to improve and change. And so I can't imagine putting a statement out like that as like a business owner, but Morphe doesn't really do things in the most traditional way. Potato McGee said, I mean, it makes sense. James is getting invited to things outside of YouTube. Didn't he become famous for his CoverGirl campaign? Yeah, like he was on Ellen, he was on CoverGirl, he got literally launched into fame. And I bet it drives Jeffree mad that the whole like yearbook story that James got famous off of was a lie. But like, what do you expect? The kid was like, what, 16, 17 at the time? Of course he lied about it. Of course he didn't like go back and retake his school picture with the ring light because he hated the way it came out the first time. Of course he lied. But I bet you it like drives Jeffree nuts that he lied and still it didn't like ruin his career. Michaela said, yeah, that doesn't sound like a real statement. Nina said, I think it was a customer service reply. They need to do a training for their customer service agents if that's the case, because that was a bad form statement. Mercedes said, Shane's always complaining that he's poor and doesn't have as much as others. The series and makeup would have probably made more money than he would for anything else he's done. Definitely. Like, he made millions. Courtney said, I saw a video behind the scenes of Shane making his movie back in 2014, and he was a prick the entire time and would try to gaslight and manipulate people then when they would call him out. I believe it. He said that there was somebody on the set, like, involved in the making of the movie who was like, you're going too far. And he was like, well, I just wanted to do even worse jokes to, like, get back at them, to spite them. So I believe that. So, yeah, those are, like, the main points in her 40-minute video. And I guess it took me like 20 minutes to go over it. So I think she could have like shaved off a little bit, but that's fine. Let her do her. Some things that people are saying and have a bit of a problem with is the fact that she's 40. She's 38. She's an adult. While I do not feel bad for her because she is an adult who makes her own decisions, I do believe that she was manipulated. Like I said, I found a lot of the things she said to be credible, but my sympathy is very limited because, like, there's not an age where you get cut off from being able to make mistakes or from being taken advantage of, or like for people getting in your head or influencing the way you think. Like, you just don't. You never reach an age where that's not gonna happen. It's just a fact. So, like, I fully believe that she was manipulated by them. But I also believe, and this is one of, like, the only instances in which I would say this, I believe she put herself in a position that allowed her to be manipulated. Because something I was thinking about a lot was how she described her relationship with Jeffree Star, and it didn't sound like she liked him very much, you know? She said that he had initially reached out to her when he first started YouTube, and she didn't really talk to him until about 2017. And in 2017, I feel like, personally, Jeffree was getting a lot bigger. He was being a lot more legitimized in the YouTube space. And I think at that point, Tati was somebody who, in my perception of her, always wanted a seat at the table, and she never got it. Tati always wanted to be included with the other beauty gurus, with Jacqueline, with Manny, with Gabriel, with Nikita, with, I don't know, Jeffree. Like, she wanted to, with Laura Lee, she wanted to be in that space, and she wasn't. And she complained about it a lot, and I remember it being a topic of conversation a lot. And so she initially ignored Jeffree, and then when he became bigger, she was like, okay, yeah, maybe we can be friends. But then she said that, like, I went to his house once, and he smokes weed, and I don't like being around weed, so I didn't stay. And he came to my house a few times, but he didn't stay long either. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I get, like, if you're the only person at, like, a group function who's not, like, drinking and everyone else is taking shots and having fun, you're like, this isn't fun for me, I'm gonna dip. But, like, a one-on-one conversation, like, if you can't hang out for a few hours at a friend's house, even if they're doing something that you don't do, that's not your friend. Like, I just don't think that that is somebody who you actually enjoy spending time with, or who you actually think is, like, worthy of your friendship. Because she said she spent a lot of time trying to get Jeffree to be a better person and to, like, influence him to feel good about feeling good. And it's like, he doesn't want to do that. I don't understand why she thought that, like, she could take him and change him. I think she saw that he had an interest in her, and obviously it was for his own self-interest and for his own image, and because he was part of an in-group, she wanted to get in with him too. I don't think they were ever actually friends. I think she wanted to benefit off of him. Again, even if it wasn't, like, business-wise, if it was just, like, personal relationship-wise, she wanted to be included in that group. And so that's why she spent time with him, and that's why she put herself in a position where 2 years later, over the past years, Jeffree's, like, saying little things at her, saying, oh, James didn't want you here, but don't worry, I've got your back. Like, that's literally making her believe a reality that doesn't exist to eventually get her to do his dirty work. Okay, I noticed you guys are sending a lot of comments, so I'm going to read them. But City said, you can still see the manipulations if you take a step back, especially at such a level of maturity, if there is any. Right. Nina said they make 40 seem like 100. Dang. Right, like, she should be this perfect person. Like, she's 40. Like, she's ancient, dude. Rajesh said, I think she understands it was a mistake. I mean, I think she definitely understands it now. But hindsight's 20/20, you know? Merv said, I don't defend Shane and Jeffree, but Tati seems like a snake with makeup. I mean, I think Tati is a little bit more, I don't know, she seemed, the way she kind of, like, presented herself was as just somebody very gullible and very, like, I don't know the right word. I'll just say gullible. Like, she seemed like she was just, like, this open heart that somebody could just come in and take advantage of her. But I think she knows better. And I was really thinking a lot about the situation with Kiki Chanel. that happened just a few years ago. Do you guys remember that at all? Kaylor said, Tati was warned about Jeffree. She said so after he gave her a purse with the Mona Lisa on it. Right. Blue Cat said, I think the whole I thought I could change him thing was how she justified her association with him to herself. And it definitely could be. Like, she could just be saying, like, well, I'm going to help him be better. But I think at the end of the day, it was just that she wanted to be involved in that group. And she wasn't. And the thing is, like, that's not bad. Tati's just different from those people. She just is. Like, the way she presents herself is very different. She says, like, people always want to, like, put the old label on her, like, the mature label on her. Like, they think that she's, like, she's not as fun as these other people. But that's how she presents herself is, you know, she's said, like, oh, I'm a mentor to younger people. I don't do this for the money. I do this just so I can have something for myself and I can help you. And, like, she presents herself in a very mature, matronly way. And so that's how people are going to see her. And it's just a fact. It's not like a judgment or anything. Like, I know personally for me, the way I present myself is a way that does get me excluded from a lot of things sometimes. Like, I've had friendships where people have kept me at an arm's length because they're like, oh, well, I thought you were going to judge me if I told you this. Or I thought that, like, you wouldn't be as fun as the rest of us if we invited you to this thing. Like, I thought you were going to, like, judge us and be like the mom. And I get it because that's how I present myself. Whether it's intentional or not, sometimes people judge you on that without getting to know you. And that's just how it is sometimes. DLA92 said, I think Tati showed she has no loyalty. I got so annoyed when she said every time she was around them, they would talk trash about James. Like, why didn't she get up and leave? Right. Like, if somebody's talking crap about your friend to you, it's because you're letting them. Like, why would they think that that was okay? Feisty Penguin said, I totally agree. Kaylor said, it's pretty narcissistic to think that you're so good and so unproblematic that you can guide people like Jeffree. Right. But yeah, so, like, the thing with Kiki Chanel, that was totally planned out. That was totally manipulated. She took it too far because she thought that Kylie was going to be an easy target, and she took it too far again with James because she thought that it would get her to be on this little docu-series. And the thing with Kiki Chanel, if you guys don't remember, is Tati had reviewed like a full face of Makeup Revolution. She hated everything, essentially. She thought the concealer was too dull. She thought that she didn't like that it was a doe foot applicator for the foundation. She said that the highlighter was pale. She said that everything was patchy, that it didn't work. Like, she had a problem with everything that she was trying out for the first time that day. And she had tried out the concealer before. So, like, I'm not trying to get details wrong. She had tried out the concealer before. She didn't like it, but she was trying it again. She was trying the foundation for the first time. She was trying the Emily Noel, the Wants palettes and the Needs palette. And she didn't like any of it. And it just didn't work for her. And she, at the end, said, like, you know, I hope that Emily Noel can, like, collab with a different brand in the future. And, like, she did give a bit of a disclaimer of, like, this is my first time trying it. I didn't get to try a lot of the colors, so if I do and they work out, I'll tell you. But as of now, I don't like it. And me personally, like, this is just the way I see it, is, yeah, like, give an honest review. But I think the fact that Emily Noel is another YouTuber, you shouldn't have just given a first impressions review. You should have said, is my technique off? Was I maybe using the wrong color? Like, I didn't want to use this color. I wanted to use this one instead. Like, I think in every industry, there's something called a professional courtesy. And a professional courtesy to Emily Noel would have been to go ahead, like, put that first review up, but then maybe add a little clip in at the end and say, you know what, I worked with it. And because people said it was good. I don't know whether it was or not, but give it another try. Like, give it a few more tries. Try and wear it out. Like, see if maybe something was just off that day, whatever. And do what you can, because if it actually is good and you were just having an off day, it's kind of rude. You know, you don't have to like it, but she just seemed very negative throughout the entire video is what I'm saying. And so Kiki did this emergency review, and if you don't know her, you would have thought that it was very aggressive and very rude and very mean, and like, just, that's just how Kiki was and is. She's gotten a little bit tamer, or it's a little bit easier to tell when she's joking now, but it was like, that was her sense of humor. That's how she was at the time. She said, this is a good palette, this is an affordable palette, I would tell my friend to buy this palette, I would tell my mom to buy this palette, this is an affordable palette, and it's good, and it works, and I think Tati didn't want to like it, and this is what it looks like if you actually take time and do it. And so then Tati had a few million subscribers at the time. Kiki had like 150,000 subscribers at the time. So Kiki puts this video out. It gets like a ton of views. A lot of people are talking about it. And then Tati puts out a video with clips of Kiki Chanel trying to make her look like a bad person and saying, I won't take bullying online anymore. And that video has about 5 million views. Whereas Kiki's emergency review, let's see. I'll give you the actual numbers. Kiki, Chanel, Tati. Yeah, so, Kiki Chanel's emergency review of the Emily Edit Makeup Revolution palettes has 1 million views, and then Tati's I'm Done Being Quiet video, which was literally directed at Kiki Chanel, has 4.9, and then Kiki did My Apology to Tati Westbrook, which was a sarcastic video, and it has like 630,000 views. Like, she wasn't getting millions of views at the time, and I feel like it only got 1 million views because Tati called it out. Okay, you guys are doing a lot of comments. Okay, I don't want to miss anything important. Marmaduke Scarlet said, just gonna put it out there, but to me, Tati's calm persona is a facade. Could be. Nina said Kiki can be a little blunt. Like, she literally can, and like, I get it. If you don't know who she is, you would have probably watched that and been like, who is she to be so angry about this? But literally, like, that's just how she talked at the time. And it's not for everybody, absolutely not. But it wasn't like Kiki was like pissed off and coming for Tati. Yeah, she came for her a little bit, but that's just how she talks with everything, with everyone. Like, she literally, I was watching like an old vlog of hers today, and she's sitting there talking about like, tell that guy to park somewhere else because I'm trying to eat Taco Bell in my car. Like, she just has that sense of humor. Merv said she sat down, filmed a video, edited it. When editing a video, you watch it again and again, and she didn't pause for a second thinking, is this okay? Am I doing something wrong? Am I about to cancel a 19-year-old who I assume to love? Is it okay? Come on now. Exactly. And that's the thing. I get that being manipulated and being told lies can make you act in ways that you wouldn't otherwise, but she put herself, because of her own self-interest, in a situation where that was something that was allowed to happen. Like, she let them talk smack about her friend. Like, she said, like, I always thought of him as like a son to me. And I don't know, like, I think that part is not necessarily, maybe it wasn't intended to be a lie, but you wouldn't do that to your son. If you loved your son, nobody, like, no parent who loves their kid would behave like that. Like, she had plenty of time to stop. I don't know why her husband, who, like, wasn't involved in all of this, didn't say, like, hey, maybe don't do that. Hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe you're gonna open the door for people to accuse this kid of sexual assault when you don't know if he did anything. I don't know. Anyway. Nina said, Tati, when she gets her feelings hurt, bites back 10 times harder. Absolutely. Kaylark said, I always find it disturbing when large YouTubers call out smaller channels or Twitter users. All of these big YouTubers don't know their followers will go on the attack. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I get, like, you think it's just another person who's coming at you and you want to go back at this person. But at the same time, you have to understand the discrepancy in channel size. You do. Because having such a large platform on YouTube, on Twitter, wherever it's at, is a privilege, but it also is a responsibility. And you have a responsibility. You're not just a person on the internet. Like, you are a very large presence. You, in most cases, they are like LLCs, like they are their own company. And so as a company, you have a responsibility to be responsible, to think about what you're doing, to understand the consequences of your actions. And so Tati, at that time, calling out Kiki Chanel like that, she literally put clips of Kiki Chanel in her video. Like, it wasn't assumed that this was about her. It was known that this video was about her. And the thing that kills me is Tati put an old clip of Kiki in the video saying, like, even if it's an influencer collab, no one's immune from a bad review. Like, Tati put that in her video to make it look like Kiki was being hypocritical and going back on her word, when in Kiki's emergency review of the needs and the wants palette said, I've said before and I stand by it, no influencer collab, no product is immune from a bad review, but I don't think Tati, like, gave this a fair shot. So, like, Kiki even said it in that video that she doesn't think influencers are immune. But Tati, like, didn't care. She called her money hungry. She said that she uses profanity and, like, was judging her for it. And, like, I understand not wanting to swear on your channel. I, 99% of the time, refrain from swearing on mine. Everyone has their own motivation for that. But, like, swearing on your channel isn't a sign of, like, being a bad person or, like, being low class or having bad intentions. Like, Kiki just says what she wants, and, like, that's who she is. And Tati literally weaponized her language against her when it's not even offensive language. It's a way that millions of people speak every single day. But I'm gonna cut it off on that because that's not what this is about. But I was rewatching the videos last night because I knew I wanted to talk about it because this was all that I was thinking about when she said, like, that video wasn't made with malice, and, like, talking about how she was manipulated into taking James down when this isn't the first time she's done it. That's it. Okay. Whew. That was it. I need a drink. Louisa said it's a very Gabby Hanna move to call out smaller channels. Right? Okay. Taylor McGee said, it's funny because if Tati wouldn't have called attention to Kiki's video, only her followers that are also subscribed to Kiki would have seen it. It's a dig towards Tati. Right. Like, literally, she had 150,000 subscribers at the time. And yeah, that's a big platform, but Tati's was way bigger. And, like, Tati drew attention to Kiki by making that video. Because she could have gone on and said, like, I feel like I've been treated unfairly, because people do say mean things to Tati sometimes. Like, that's just part of being on the internet. And she could have said, like, I don't want people to talk about me that way. I don't want people to talk to me that way. It's unacceptable, XYZ. But she literally specifically targeted Kiki. And of course, I'm a little bit biased because I like Kiki. But that's just me. Marmaduke said, the Kiki thing, Tati showed her true colors then. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, everybody, like, makes mistakes or has bad judgment, but doing essentially the same thing twice, I don't know. I'm a little bit less forgiving. Lauren said, I love how people are shaming Shane Dawson for doing stuff during the shock culture era. The whole point of him not having done stuff like that in the 10 plus years is that he as a person has grown. I mean, he didn't do any of that stuff publicly, but he still calls Jeffree Star family, who has been accused of doing those things publicly, which isn't very comforting. I mean, I think if you're, like, okay with having a friend who does that stuff and who behaves that way, I don't know how much you've changed. That's just my thought on it, though. Oh, Alexander said, what did you think of the Trisha video about Tati? I only saw clips of it. I don't know what Trisha's doing. I feel like, I mean, I get it. She's, like, going hard for her friend. But at the same time, Trisha's acting like she's not somebody who does a lot of problematic things. And, like, she definitely is somebody who was like, you're 40, you're 40, you're 40, you're a grown woman. And it's like, okay, her age is not the point. The point is the actual behavior, because all of these people are within 10 years of each other. Like, I feel like there's a difference between being 25 and 15, like, developmentally and where you're at in life. There's a big difference between being 15 and 25. But, like, between 30 and 40, not so much. Like, they're all around the same age. I don't understand why the age is such a big thing. I kind of worry about Trisha sometimes. Like, not even in a mean way. Like, I don't know. I'm absolutely not trying to shame Trisha or, like, judge her or make fun of her whatsoever. And I know that she's done videos and, like, doing her podcast, and she has her extensions in and her makeup done, and she's, like, dressed in the same clothes that she's in during those videos. But during those videos, she just seems like she's saying whatever comes to her mind, and she's not thinking about, like, actually presenting valid arguments. Like, I don't know, she looks tired is what I'll say. She looks very, like, tired in those videos. It's like after a long day, her extensions are out, her hair isn't done, and that's totally fine, because, like, I come on here in a t-shirt and no makeup literally every time I film a video, but it's just, it seems like this is kind of like last-ditch efforts to try and protect Shane, because she's coming on here, she's talking about Jason, she's talking about David Dobrik again, she's pulling out past videos and, like, screaming at Gabby Hanna in these videos and, like, rolling around, and I'm like, girl, you're one of the last people who should be talking about the way to conduct yourself in public. And also, I feel like you're just doing more harm than good right now, because yeah, some people are talking about her and, like, being like, oh, she made points though, and it's like, yeah, sure, but she also didn't, because of who she is. Betsy said, I don't watch Trisha at all, just knew about her since Gabby H made that nasty rumor about her. Yeah. Ooh, Kathleen, thank you for bringing that up. Kathleen said, Tati posted her Bye Sisters video after calling Shane to say it could drive James to suicidal thoughts at the hotel, and she still posted it. Tati's a nasty woman. If this is true, that's horrifying. If she even had the thought that posting that video could lead him, because she said he's out of the country, he's on, like, the 50th floor of a hotel, I'm concerned, and allegedly Shane said, well, he's too narcissistic to do it, and she posted it anyway. That's disgusting. Like, that should tell you that what you're doing is wrong. Blame the Mercy said, I know Tati was wrong, but I still think she was still manipulated. Yeah. And I think she can be both. Like, I really, truly do. I do think she was manipulated. But she still did what she did. And so, I definitely can feel sympathy for her at, the fact that she posted this video and, like, Shane allegedly hyped her up to post it, and then after posting it, she hasn't really heard from Jeffree or Shane since, and so in her head, she kind of thought that they were friends and they were gonna back her up, and then she hasn't heard anything since then, and so I can definitely feel sympathy for that feeling of, like, being left high and dry, but they all have accountability in this. I have no idea how to say your name, but it's like Xyrix? I don't know. XRYXIX. Yeah, someone can be hurt and hurt people. Absolutely. Jayla said, I believe Tati was manipulated, but she still uploaded the video when she could have met up with James and talked to him in person. Yeah, and the thing is, like, James had said, like, I tried to call her, I tried to talk to her, I tried to call James, I called their home phone, like, I was trying to get a hold of them to talk about this, and Tati wouldn't respond to me. And so I get, like, having, being upset with somebody and wanting some time, but she didn't just, like, take some time away. She took that time to make a video and post it out of concern for him and the fact that he might get into legal trouble. And it, like, for that, literally, like, clear, like, making things abundantly clear, she never used the word predator when talking to James, but she said he was essentially hypersexual, that he had an affinity for hitting on straight guys, that when she said, James, that guy is straight, he said, it doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity, and basically set up the stage perfectly for Jeffree Star to swoop in and say that he was a predator. So I definitely don't want to accuse somebody of something that they didn't do, but she opened the door. And that's just something that I've had, like, a big problem with, is because I really did think it was about vitamins. Like, I thought it was about her feeling betrayed by a friend, and she was upset and she was mad, and she just didn't want to be friends with him anymore, so she was like, burn the boats, let's do this. And I was like, even if you want to call him out for being a bad friend, you don't have to include that stuff. Like, that's bad stuff that is really touchy. Like, being a sexual predator is a really serious accusation, and so while she didn't outright say it, she kind of implied it. And I was like, you know, you just want to call him out for being a bad friend, do that, leave that out. And then for her to come back and say, well, no, it wasn't even about that. It was because I thought he was going to get in legal trouble for having underage victims. Like, it changes up everything, really. Sorry, I'm trying to, like, catch up on your guys' comments. Amanda said, I think the common denominator here is Jeffree Star. To be honest, I believe he was the one who potentially orchestrated all of it. Yeah, it could be. I mean, again, I don't want to, like, accuse somebody of something that they didn't do, but I kind of feel like, I don't know. Shane definitely had a hand in it, but I don't know if he would have gone as far as Tati is saying that he did if it weren't for Jeffree, if that makes sense. You know, I think Jeffree does try to get close to certain people who can do certain things for him, and that's kind of what it comes down to. Somebody said, like, we can all we can all think that everybody's wrong. Like, we can be multifaceted in our criticism. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, everybody had a part to play in this. So. DLA92 said, yes, she opened that door. I hated that part when she pushed that particular blame on Jeffree. She opened the door and hinted to those allegations herself. Absolutely. Lauren, I want to talk about this last thing you said, because that's actually something I was thinking about. Lauren said, people should just stop reposting his old videos. What if this human being actually kills himself? I don't agree with the past videos, but he's still a human. Yeah. And I definitely was thinking about that, because it seemed like, and I get people wanted Tati to post her video. So, like, people have been asking for it. I understand that, like, when is there a good time to do this? But it was like, all these old videos came out. And, I mean, whether you think, okay, it was edgy humor or not, whatever, publicly, in the public eye, he stopped making that sort of content. But then they all started coming back. And I think a lot of people are saying, like, the reason that they're bringing them up is because a lot of his old content was racially insensitive, if not outright racist. And it applies to today because Jeffree Star is consistently being accused of saying racist things. And so it's like, hey, maybe he stopped doing this stuff publicly. Maybe he just thought he was being edgy. I have a particular problem with the extent to which the pedophilia jokes went, because Shane has said that he was molested as a kid, but then he also said that he never was, and I don't know about that. I do know that in a lot of cases, if somebody is assaulted as a kid, they will often act that out on other people, and it can manifest in them becoming predatory. And so those ones I really do take issue with. It's all not okay, and it's all hurtful, but like the pedophilia is dangerous. So with these all coming out, it's like, okay, why are they coming out? Why are they coming out? He stopped doing this publicly. We should just let him move on. But if he considers Jeffree Star family, how moved on could he have been? How much of a change could he have seen? Because people who know Jeffree to this day are saying that he still uses that language. Jeffree Star not only has a history of using racist language, but people are saying he still does. And it really wouldn't surprise me, because people say he has a history of being petty. He still is. He has a history of threatening violence. He still does. He, like, uses people and then throws them away when he has no more use for them. He still does. And so all the things that he used to do and used to get accused of are still persistent. And so I think that's why these videos are coming up. But to the point of what Lauren's comment made me think of is, all these videos are coming out. He's getting, like, stones thrown at him for all these different things. Morphe pulls the conspiracy collection. Tati puts out her video. The Smiths are coming after him. Sony copyright claims a bunch of his videos on his channel. YouTube demonetizes everything. And so in terms of money, I'm not concerned about Shane. Shane has millions of dollars, and I think he will be fine. But I definitely think we need to be careful in how we respond to a lot of this, because that is a lot to take for any person. Like, any person would be under a massive amount of stress if that happened. So, the things Shane did were not okay. We've had like an hour and a half long conversation about this. I don't agree with them. I don't want bad for Shane, but I also want better. Like, I want him to do better. I want him to cut ties with Jeffree Star, and I want him to actually show us that he has changed, that he's not okay with people who are racist being considered his family. But I also, like, just because I don't like Shane doesn't mean that he's not human, and it doesn't mean that we should be okay if something happens. And people are like spreading rumors that he was rushed to a hospital for what? For clout? I don't know. But I want all of us to not get too wrapped up in Carmageddon, to not revel in the takedown of somebody else, because that's cancel culture. And what a lot of us are asking for is change, is for, you know, legitimate accountability, for understanding why the things you did were wrong, and maybe looking into yourself a little bit more and saying, why did I do those things? Why did I act that way? Why am I still allowing this behavior of the people that I spend time with? And then I do want to talk about the, what's it called? His Instagram story. Chantel said, you are who you surround yourself with. Absolutely. Like, you act like them and you get judged by them. Derek said, he only seems to care about things when he gets caught versus actually holding accountability. Jeffrey even talked sexually on minors while he was an adult, so that's weird. Ugh. Paul said, like he said, it's okay if people don't accept his apology. Change and growth is accepting that your past is a part of you. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about, like, because I rewatched his apology after we did the live, and he really said, like, I hate that person. I hate that person. I have such an intense amount, like, you don't understand. And I'm like, this is why people think that you haven't moved on. Not because he's saying he hates that person or he hates who he used to be, but because he's trying to almost reject it. And I think to be like a fully actualized person, you have to say, that was me. I did those things. Why did I do those things? Why did I think that that was okay? What am I learning? Like, what hurt was I manifesting in this way, or what hate was I manifesting in this way? Like, why did I do that? That was me. I accept that part of me, and here's how I'm going forward. Here's how I'm better now. If you reject your past, you're never going to learn from it. You're going to be running from it. And he said I don't want to be scared of my past anymore. Then you can't hate who you were back then. You have to understand it, and you have to understand why it was wrong and what you can do to be better. You have to, in my opinion. I say, like, you have to, as if I'm in charge. But, like, in my opinion, it's a good idea to do that. Marmaduke said, nobody here is telling Shane to kill himself. Yeah, and I'm not saying that any of you guys are. Like, 99% totally respectful, like, great stuff. But on Twitter and, like, outside of this, there's just been a lot of really aggressive things being said, and like I said, like, just overall, we all think it's gross that Jeffrey reveled in James Charles's takedown last year. So I want us to fully be aware of how we respond to things, and speaking from me, like, just what I want to hold myself accountable to is not reveling in it. Not thinking that it's funny, and not being like, oh my god, he's finally getting taken down, because he did wrong, but that's a lot, and he's a person. And people can have whatever response they want. Like, I take back what I said earlier. I don't want to tell anybody how to respond, but it's important to me, for who I am, like, as a person, to remember humanity in people, because that's just how I feel best living, in my opinion. Chantal said, does anyone else feel like Jeffrey's silence is the calm before the storm? Mm-hmm. I definitely feel that way. Birds of a Feather said, I understand that just because of their actions doesn't mean you should wish harm on them and such, but to take accountability, that doesn't push them to the edge. Yeah. I mean, hold people accountable, make sure that they're, like, actually addressing the things that are important to you that they address, but just remember that they're a person. Tatum Gee said, honestly, the rumors of Shane being rushed to a hospital are disgusting. Why would anyone think it's okay to lie about that for any reason? I don't know, but somebody made a YouTube video about it. And, like, it was, like, of an ambulance. So, like, Shane Dawson rushed to hospital. And it's like, bro, who does that? DLA92 said, I do sympathize with the notion that Shane could self-harm, and I do not wish that upon him. However, I do not believe his mental health should sit on the shoulders of others, his responsibility. Yeah, his mental health is his responsibility, 1,000%. I just think, like, in my opinion, I want to act with integrity when someone's being, like, when someone's going through a lot. Even if it's their fault, even if they've done horrible things. I mean, I'm not really talking about, like, murder. I'm talking about the things that, like, Shane has done. Like, it's all bad. It's terrible. He clearly hasn't learned, and he's still doing bad things, but he's not an irredeemable person in my eyes. So I just, he's done a lot of bad things, though, and I see you guys talking about Shane's Instagram story. So let's talk about that. Courtney said, funny how Ryland looked down on Tati because Shane made her money promoting her gummies, yet he owes his and his sister's career to Shane. Yeah, like they literally got handed careers on silver platters because nobody knew who either of them were. Like, yeah, Ryland worked for, like, Clever News. I had no idea who he was when he started dating Shane. Chantel said, I feel like the issue with Shane is that in his apology, he was careful to establish an idea that he's too sensitive and fragile to handle this. Yeah, I think that's, like, I don't know. I think it was very disingenuous, and, like, he's grown. He's an adult. Like, he should know how to take care of his stuff, you know? But yeah, he definitely puts on, like, a bit of, like, a pity me act, and it's fake, like, 99% of the time. And so, like, I don't think anybody should, like, handle him with kid gloves. I just think we should make sure that we're, like, responding to things in a way, even if we're just, like, one single person, should be responding to things in a way that we would be proud of. That we would be proud to, like, tell other people this is how we behaved. Even when somebody did something wrong. Even when they're being called out. Even when they've done a horrible thing. Like, we still are, like, proud of how we acted. But that's just me. Anyway, okay. The Instagram story. That was something that honestly made me, like, a little bit sick to my stomach. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I was like I didn't quite know why it made me so upset. Of course, there were a lot of things in there that he said that were not okay, that were just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you on this live stream? And for a little bit, I was trying to figure out why he was so angry. Because, of course, I hadn't watched Tati's video. I was so mad. Dude, I was telling my husband, I was like, I'm so mad because I was at work when Tati posted her video, and, like, I've got a few people, like, DMing me on Twitter and on Instagram, and people are talking about it, and I'm like, I'm literally at work right now. I can't watch this. Like, I can't respond to this. I was so mad. But I ended up watching it later that day. But so he went on live, and I got the notification, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch this. And so I opened it up, and it's, like, a minute and 30 seconds. It's him just running around the house screaming, saying that, like, you're lying! You're lying! She's such a fucking... I don't want to say anything mean, but, like, yelling at her. And then she talks about how she had shared a story of her sexual assault with Shane, and he was like, this is so manipulative, you're fake crying. And he like rolled his eyes at her and said, I was abused, I was sexually abused. And then Ryland's like, get off. And some people are like, I think he was talking to the dog, but to me it sounded like he was talking to Shane, as in like, get off because you are unhinged right now. And so for a little bit I was like, is this somebody who's like being accused of something he didn't do and that's why he's so mad? Or is it somebody who is losing control of the narrative and that's why he's pissed? And he's like losing it because he is so used to controlling how things are perceived. Like even when he like puts out a series, if he has to like change a date, he doesn't care what you think. He's going to change the date that he releases a part, and he's going to tell you to be grateful for free content, even though he gets sponsorships and he gets paid from YouTube and he makes millions of dollars. Like, Shane likes control, and that's where I kind of land on that. I think it was him, like, I don't know what the thought was, if he thought he was going to get on there and like try and expose her as she was exposing him or what, but he just like dipped real quick. Mercedes said, why would he go live for that video? Did he think he was going to like anything Tati said? What was the plan? Right, like what did he think was going to happen from that? Jayla said, when Jeffree said that Nate banned James from their house, that didn't sound like anything Nate would say. I don't know about, like, I'm not a fan of Jeffree Star. I didn't watch any of Jeffree Star's content up until he had a bit of an association with Shane. And even then, like, when they did the first documentary, I didn't watch it because I was like, I don't care about Jeffree Star. But I watched the second one, and I saw a little bit of Nate, and I was like, he seems like a nice dude. Like, I don't know about that. And everyone's talking about how they think he probably has an NDA and like they want him to talk out. And I'm like, it would be interesting to hear what he has to say, but that would be so hurtful. Like if you were in a relationship with somebody and then they started going down and you were like, oh, by the way, here's all their deepest, darkest stuff. I'd be like that would make me, I don't know, because they were together for so long, it would make me kind of look at Nate a little bit sideways and be like, okay, but you were with him for so long? Why? Because he's rich? Like, you know, like I think him talking could make it look worse for him. But anyway. DLA92 said, definitely, he totally is redeemable in my opinion as well. It's such a thin line between accountability and suicide. It almost silences the hurt felt by so many. Yeah. Count Von Wilson said, very Onision from Shane there. Dude, Najaf, the voodoo child, I love her videos. She makes YouTube videos. And she tweeted, she was like, I know Onision is somewhere so happy right now. And I'm like, dude, I wonder if Onision hated Shane so much because he knew about, like, all the messed up pedophilia jokes that, like, a lot of people just forgot about or didn't even know. And he was like, if Shane can do this and he's still the king of YouTube, why does everybody hate me? Like, I feel like that's kind of why Onision went so hard for him. Courtney, no. Courtney said, I thought Shane loved when Tati beats her face to the gods, turns on her ring light, and pulls some Game of Thrones shit. Dude. Jacob said, Angelica makes a good point that every time he stops a sentence, it's because he knows he has nothing to say. Oh, I saw that when she was like, she cut it, like, so it was just those parts where he stopped. I was like, I mean, I don't think he knew what he was doing when he got on there, and it was just bad, dude. Like, he literally just, like, dropped it real quick after. Savannah said, Ryland really out here being Shane's PR team. Right. Jayla said that live was embarrassing. That was the real Shane. Chantel said he wouldn't be that upset if it wasn't true. Killer said, I mean, his content is actually free now. Yeah. Ugh. Like, for me, when I first heard that, I was like, oh my god, that's so devastating. And then I remembered that he was a millionaire. And I was like, oh, he'll probably be okay. Like, he'll probably, like, I don't know what money looks like in the beauty industry, but I feel like if he lives like a pretty moderate life from here on out, he could literally live on that money for the rest of his life if he was responsible with it. But like maybe if he wanted to like expand a little bit, he'd have to figure something else out. But I legitimately, when they said that, I was like, oh my God, like, can you imagine? I was like, oh no, he's got millions of dollars. So like that sucks. But also, he's not gonna go hungry. It's gonna be okay. Amanda said, that was my perception, that he was being accused of something that he didn't do and was frustrated and clearly distraught. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, just the way I perceived it was that he was like, she's saying something that goes against this, like, what I've painted, and I'm pissed because I didn't know that she was going to say this, and now I have no way of controlling it, you know? But I don't know. Brianna said, yep, agreed. He was mad he got caught and now has zero control. That was just such a bad look, dude. Paul said, like Smokey Glow said, he responded with the quickness of lightning to Tati's video, but cannot publicly respond to a family that publicly voiced the harm they received. Where's the accountability? Yeah. Savannah said that live was embarrassing. He showed his true colors, quote, I don't want to be mean, and then proceeds to yell at her about her assault experience. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I, like, align with that because sometimes you have thoughts that are mean and you're like, that's a mean thing. I shouldn't say that. And I've literally stopped myself, like, getting worked up, and then I'm like, I don't want to get worked up. I don't want to be angry. Let me take a step back. And so, like, I understand wanting to, like, pause yourself, but why did you get on live in the first place if you were that mad about everything? I'm sorry, I still don't know how to say your name. Xerix, XRYXX said people bring up the past because both Shane and Jeffree avoid taking accountability. Yeah, I've seen some people saying, like, why are we still talking about the past? Because the past relates to right now. It's connected to right now. And while I think, like, I said this in my video about Jeffree, it's like it shouldn't be 100% focusing on the past, but it's there to support what's happening right now. It's here to say, like, you were okay with, you know, making fun of black people, doing skits, like, with hurtful humor towards these groups of people, and maybe you got okay with it now, but back then. But I also think something that I didn't consider for a long time and that I recently kind of adopted into my mindset was like, maybe those jokes or those things weren't okay back then. People just didn't think they could speak up about it. Like, people didn't feel like they were listened to, or maybe I wasn't listening. When we see other people saying, hey, like, that joke isn't hurtful, that joke isn't funny, it's really hurtful. You know, a lot of white people kind of say, like, oh, well, it wasn't offensive to me, or it wasn't hurtful to me, so it's fine. And I'm definitely guilty of that. Like, in the past, I definitely thought, well, that wasn't offensive to me, so why do I care? But you also have to consider the fact that a lot of times people who were the butt of those jokes just didn't want to rock the boat, or they weren't listened to. And so you have these old jokes that don't age well. Absolutely not. And if it stopped there, people are more often granted forgiveness. But because it's bled into who he is today, and he's friends with somebody who is notoriously known for being racist and mean and, like, comparing black women to animals, it just doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel like somebody that I would want to support. And so Shane said, like, he's like, I should lose everything for those jokes. And I don't think he feels that way, because he's putting up the most horrific punishment he could get. I should lose everything, so that people say, well, no, it's okay. And you, like, baby him into not having to take accountability. Whereas he should have said, I'm going to do some reflecting and see where I need to go from here, and I'll keep you updated. Because on one level, his personal life is none of our business, but on another level, when you have such a big platform and you put your personal life out there and make it our business, we're going to want to know some stuff, if that makes sense. Sorry, guys, I'm like trying to catch up on your comments. Kaylin, where's your comment? You said you made a video response telling Jenna Marbles she was racist? Okay, there you are. I actually remember making a video response in 2011 to a Jenna Marbles video telling her she was racist. What video was it? Was it one of the ones that she like pointed out as like in her most recent video? Mercedes said those videos were still on YouTube until a week ago or so. If he was regretful, he could have taken them down ages ago. Yeah. Like, if he really felt bad or really saw a problem with them, he could have. Chantel said, exactly, B, so manipulative. Zerk said, yeah, he's doing the whole baby me thing yet again. Fully agree with you. Kaylin said, isn't it wild that their personal life is also their career? That sounds like my worst nightmare. Literally. Like, I think it's easy to like idealize having like just like vloggers, like having your life just be your career and like being a public figure and like you film yourself making your breakfast and people watch it and that's how you make money. And I think that that's a really cool concept, but it also can lead to a lot of mess. And I think we're finally seeing kind of like those repercussions of people who kind of came up in like the Vine days, who just put everything out there, who like built their career kind of on story times, like us going back and being like, whoa, that stuff's not cool. Like, this wasn't okay. And you've shared so much of your life with us that now we're going to criticize it because it's out there and that's what people do. Kaylor said, I recommend people watch clips from The Chair. It's a docuseries following Shane while he made a movie. It shows how he treats people and it's unacceptable. That's interesting. I never heard about that. Savannah said, until last week, he was still getting money from those videos. They were still monetized. Yeah. Ocean Fall said, Blair is planning on giving receipts, etc. She's currently asking her viewers if it's fair to expose what's happening and risk losing her channel, but she says she has receipts. Against Shane or against Jeffree? Oh my god, Samantha, yes. Imagine how canceled the average person would be if they had the spotlight like these celebrities. I feel bad that anything celebs did is on blast, but also they know they have an audience. Yeah. And like that's why I kind of try to like talk with grace and like give people understanding and say like, I've done things in my past. I've said things in my past. I've been hurtful. I've been mean to people. I've lied to a friend. Like, I've done things in my past that if I were a public figure and like people saw me do those things, people would not be happy with me. And it would suck because it's like, well, I'm not that person or I've changed. And like, it sucks, you know? Everybody's done something that they wouldn't want everybody to know about. So that's why I want to speak with a little bit of grace when these things do happen, but at the same time, these people choose to put their lives out there like that. And a lot of times when people actually like stick to something and stick to a story, it's not just like one or two mistakes. It's like this is a pattern of behavior that is continuing on and is still happening. You know, like I try to be very forgiving of people's past, because it's like everybody has a past, like everybody has made mistakes, but there's a difference between a mistake and a habit, and like a mistake and a pattern, and a mistake and something that's intrinsically part of who you are. That City said, who haven't? We do allow people to grow. Yeah, we do. We just want to see like actual accountability, you know? Like most people who I talk to on here, like you guys who comment, like most people want to actually see people like be better. Like we don't want people to be terrible. We want you to accept what you did and change, and like, you know, if you want to be better and you want to be in this space, we would love to see it. But Savannah said, I feel like using the excuse I didn't know it meant isn't valid, especially at 20 years old, which he was, because when you're 20 years old, you do realize that you shouldn't say / do things you don't know the meaning of. Yeah, that's true. Like when you have a large audience, you should probably know what you're talking about. Yeah. Ocean Ball said Jeffree has bragged to Blair, saying that he has dirt on everyone and that he knows what's going on, and slid into her DMs to cancel her video exposing him. She said she was scared to make videos. It'll be interesting. Kaylor said, but the whole thing is when it's skits, he wrote the script, he filmed it, edited it, posted it, and monetized it. He has plenty of chances to say, hey, this isn't a good look, maybe I shouldn't post. Yeah. I mean, my thing is, like, when it comes to the bits, I understand him thinking, like, this is the type of comedy, this is the type of humor I've seen on different shows. Like, humor was, you know, he wanted to be edgy, he wanted to be shocking, and so I get trying to come up with, like, these edgy things. And this is just my personal opinion. My opinion is going to be extremely different because I am white, and, you know, he, like, the things he did were not aimed at my identity. The jokes he made weren't made to degrade somebody who looks like me. And he could say that he was being funny, and that's fine. And, like, if it was just jokes, if it was just insensitive jokes, I could see, like, a world where he said, those were jokes, I was trying to be shocking, they were a bad idea. Like, I thought it was funny because I was making fun of everybody, and that's what I was emulating, was seeing people make fun of everybody and seeing people have edgy humor, and I pushed it too far and I really hurt people, so I'm sorry. And if that was where it ended, I could see this playing out very differently. But in my opinion, like I said earlier, there's a difference between making insensitive jokes and, like, actually potentially being a person who could physically hurt somebody. Because he makes the pedo jokes and their bits and their skits, but if Shane was molested as a kid, that makes it so much worse. Like, and if the family was okay with those jokes happening, I'm concerned about what's going on in that family, you know? And so it's not just, they're just jokes, get over it. They were racist jokes, and he's friends with somebody, he's family with somebody who's a known racist, saying if he's okay with that behavior and he's okay with that language, he didn't learn how hurtful it was. And that's the thing, like, he didn't learn how hurtful it was if he's okay with his family, Jeffree Star, doing it now. Because everyone can say, it was jokes, get over it, it's in the past, but it's like, you're not making the connection to what it is now. This isn't just, he made a dumb joke, or he was 20 and immature and thought it was funny and he was emulating what he saw growing up. It goes past that. It goes beyond that. And I don't want to see anybody canceled. I don't want to see anybody ruin their life or their career, or like not get to do what they love. If he loves YouTube, like, I don't want to ruin anybody's life, and I don't think any of us should take that on. But we have to understand the implications of our actions and what it looks like when you have been on YouTube. Shane is setting the example for people of how they should handle these things, how it's okay to live. So many people grew up watching Shane, and so they're watching how he handles this, and he's not handling it well. And he's telling them, oh, I made these jokes and they were bad and I hate that person, but I'm okay with like real life racism. And so that's why it matters. That is why the past matters, because it speaks to how much he did not change. And who he was then may not be that different from who he is now. That's why the past matters. And with the pedophilia jokes, I get it. Dark humor is a thing. But if you grow up in a family that thinks it's okay to make those jokes, I am concerned. I'm concerned for you, and I'm concerned for the people who are around you. Even if they were jokes. I tweeted this out. Even if they were just jokes, would you want somebody who speaks like that around your kid? Because I would not. I absolutely would not. I'm getting off my soapbox now. Kaylin said, or he learned and doesn't care. Yeah. Ocean Fall said, I don't like everything Blair does, but she does give facts and proof and makes an effort to talk to people. To the people she calls out. Her newer videos are much better, but I can appreciate she doesn't call people out for no reason and states that she's unsure, etc., and makes it clear and allows the other person to debate with her. Yeah, I think Blair, like, she rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and there's a lot of things she said that I'm like, I don't agree with that. But I think some of the things that she tries to do are noble. Like, she does try to go after predators, and I can understand how hurtful and hard it was for her to actually speak against Shane. So, I mean, I don't love everything she does. I don't agree with everything she does, but I do respect that aspect of what she's doing right now. Paula said, these jokes make racism seem normal, and he had a young audience, so these kids grew up thinking being racist is okay and normal, which is scary. Yeah. Paul said, I want to see him put the same time and effort and number of videos that he put into his old videos and making new videos that fight racism, pedophilia, and advocating for BLM. 50 racist vids equals 50 anti-racism vids. That'd be cool. Mary Sade said, there's videos of Shane and his mom getting his young cousin to show off their genitals in a tiny chat. What? Mary Sade can... Well, wait, no. Is it blurred? Or is it, like... Do you actually see anything? Or what? Because I was going to say, like, send it to me. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, I don't want to have that. Yeah, that's horrifying. Chantel said, I have very dark humor myself, but even for me, Shane just goes too far. Yeah. Sarah Rose said, art imitates life. Alright. Beth said he said his followers have outgrown him. I think so. I think for a lot of people, they're kind of just over it. Samantha said, it shows how much family and the environment affects each individual. Lonnie said, I'm waiting for Jackie Ina to acknowledge this stuff. Not that she has to, but people really tried to bully her for being anti-Jeffrey. Yeah, I know that people were talking about, like, because Tati did apologize in her video, which was what we were talking about for the video, what this video was supposed to be about. She said she apologized to Jackie Ina. And, man, I don't know. Like I said, like, these people James, Jackie, if they forgive Tati, like, they've got good hearts. Like, that shows a really, that shows a good emotional maturity. For me, I really don't know too much about what Jeffree did to Jackie Ina. In full transparency, for a long time, not because of, like, anything about her, but I was, like, a Petty Page stan for, like, a long time. And when she had accused Petty Page of, like, hacking into her bank account, I was like, I don't like Jackie Ina because she accused Paige of this. So, like, it's so embarrassing, I guess, to say that, like, I don't know what Jeffree said to her or about her or anything. Like, I don't know the details of it. But when it was, like, Jeffree and Jackie Ina, like, are fighting because Jeffree said something racist, I was, like, not interested in it because I didn't care about Jeffree and I didn't care about Jackie. And it's like, dude, like, you can't let personal bias get in the way of what's right. And so I'm definitely going to be looking into what she said or what he said about Jackie. Lonnie said Jeffree called her a roach. Ew, that's so rude. Like, of course it was rude because people were saying that he called her something mean. I don't know why I'm surprised. But, like, that's just, like, not only is it racist, but that's just mean. Like, I don't get it. I know that's so dumb that I don't get why somebody who's known for saying racist things would say something mean. I don't know why, but okay. You guys are talking about like Shane's mom being in that. Bet City said, I saw that about the tiny chat. Shane's mother is with him in a couple of them. And then Count Von Wilson said, yeah, Shane's mother is quite clearly part of the problem. I mean, I don't want to, like, say it, but I don't want to, like, judge anybody. But yeah, like, if you grow up in that environment where you think that those jokes and like, if you're so comfortable with, like, pedophilia jokes and talking to kids the way he talked to kids and, like, making the joke about Willow Smith, like, acting that out, I'm questioning the environment you grew up in. I'm questioning your parents and or guardians. Arsena said, Jackie Ina forgave her. Tati and her spoke in March, and Tati apologized to her. Jackie then reviewed her product. Yeah, I mean, like, that shows that Jackie has, like, grace in her heart and can, like, is just emotionally mature to be able to say, you know what, like, you messed up. I'm willing to accept your apology. And I don't know if she gave it a good review or not, but I think that that's really admirable. Maddie BB said, yeah, I thought he called Jackie a gorilla. Ugh. Chonk, what are you saying? Trunk said, yeah, he's like, I'm done with all this and going back to my old content. Really, Shane? Should have tried with something else because this isn't working. Ugh. Oh, so, okay, Squirrellock said he called her a rat and a gorilla, if I'm remembering correctly. Great. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if there's anything else you want me to address or any part of the video that I left out, definitely feel free to put it in here. Let me know. I'm going to give, like, another minute or so for that stuff to come in because I know you guys are on a delay. But other than that, I'm pretty much done. That's pretty much all I have to say. Mercedes said I had unsubbed from Petty Page because of some of the racist things she said herself. I'm trying to remember what she said, because I know people accused her of being racist when she said the dim sum comment. I don't know. She claims that was like, oh my gosh, what's it called? Like a dialectical difference, you know? Like, it's a phrase based on where you're from. And so I'm willing to believe that, but I don't know. Is there anything else that she said? Not to, like, make this about her. Oh my gosh. Jayla said, oh wait, where's your comment? You said, like, oh my gosh. Jayla said, I don't trust any of these drama channels, to be honest. True. I saw, I did watch Petty Paige's video that she made about Mar coming out and, like, talking about her experience with Jeffree, and she showed the Snapchat where, he called Makeup Shayla, or Makeup by Shayla, I'm sorry, I don't know, like, her username. He called her a rat. I was like, bro, dude, like, who's that aggressive? I just don't know, like, who is that aggressive on Snapchat towards people that, like, you don't even really have a relationship with? I don't know, I don't get it. Ocean Ball said, yeah, I don't agree with any jokes that discriminate. It's not justifiable, even if a joke, it's not edgy, just enabling future problems. Yeah, I think, like, for me, I am somebody who, like, does enjoy kind of, like, dark humor, and, like, edgy humor, but it has to kind of have a point, you know? Like, it can't just be outrageous to be outrageous. Like, it has to be maybe, like, calling something out politically, or making a point that, like, maybe we're all more alike than we think, you know? Like, it has to be complex. It can't just be offensive to be offensive, if that makes sense. Amanda said, I thought it was super weird that she provided zero proof for anything. From what I understand, she said that she wasn't going to show anything because she is pursuing legal action, and so she, like, can't. Like, her lawyers told her, if you want to use this in a court of law, you can't. But she also, in her first video, said, I have receipts stacked thick, and didn't show anything really either. Someone said, unrelated, but what's your sign? Alexi said, unrelated, but what's your zodiac sign? I'm a Gemini. Okay, you guys are talking about, Xerxes said, endorsed racist stuff from her husband and Rich Lux and Jeffree too. Yeah, I don't know, like, I don't want to speak on it because, I don't know, like, I don't want to tell a black person how to feel, or, like, I don't want to say how a black person should have felt at those things, but she definitely gave people a pass because she liked them. You know, like, she definitely gave them a pass because they're friends. Like, her and Rich Lux. And Jeffree, too. Like, she has turned. And for me, when, like, oh my god, this is so unrelated. When, like, all the drama channel stuff was happening back in, like, January, February, around that time, I stopped watching Paige for a long time because she got super defensive when she got called out. She was, like, going after people, being super rude on Twitter, and she made that little, like, that 40-minute video in her pink sweater talking about all the reasons why she's not the things that people were accusing her of, while, like, going into the history of, like, a Sarah Gamp cup. And I'm like, dude, I don't care about any of this. Like, this is you trying to get out of what people are asking you to address. And then she, like, I don't know, talked about, and, like, the new plastics are here, and, like, I didn't like it. But she, like, took a break from YouTube, and she went away for a little bit, and when she came back, I feel like she kind of was like, okay, I got swept up in stuff, I know it was wrong, and eventually she's come to the point where she realizes that Jeffree's not her friend. So I don't want to say how quickly anybody should or should not have realized that he was a bad person, because I will fully and openly admit that I thought he had changed. I wasn't paying attention, and so I was like, He seems fine to me. I'll buy the conspiracy palette, and I did. And that brings me to another point. I'm going to be privating. I have a video using the conspiracy palette. I'm going to private it. It has like 200 views. Like, there's nothing on there. But still, like, just for the, like, the principle of it all. So I'm going to private that. Just so you know. Trunk said, I feel bad for James Charles when everyone unfollowed him and changed during the drama, but at least he got to see who his real friends are. Absolutely. Jules McPhee said, happy belated birthday. Thank you. Mercedes said, Petty Page said she'd rather be called a gorilla. Jackie's racist, but Jeffrey's not. Non-black people can use the N-word, etc. She said racist terms weren't racist. I felt betrayed. Yikes. Yeah, that's... She said that Jackie was racist? What did Jackie do? Lauren said, I've never watched Petty Page. She's been posting a little bit more frequently, like, over the past few weeks because of all of this happening, but she did take quite a bit of a break, and she deleted a ton of her videos. And I think she does most of her stuff on Twitch. She, like, streams on there, but... Alright. That's all I have got for you guys. It looks like you guys are just talking to each other, which I love, so that is awesome. But if nobody else has anything related to this, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I literally need to, like, set a timer for myself because an hour and 51 minutes. You guys are literally bosses for sticking it out, for hanging out, and for talking about this for this long with me. But I am going to go ahead and let you go. So, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I don't really do a ton of stuff on Instagram. I'm more on Twitter. It's Inside the Honeycomb, but Honeycomb is HNYCMB without the vowels. I will put a link in the description box if it's easier to find it there. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. You guys are talking about Gabby. I gotta go. We'll talk about it later. Okay, bye.